We all recognize the value of sports for our scholar athletes. Someday, some of our present athletes will take the stage as Hall of Fame inductees. As a parent of 2 children who have been involved with Worcester Public Schools athletics over the years, I have seen firsthand the important life lessons learned on and off rinks, fields, and courts. Thank you all again for your support of the Worcester Public Schools athletics tonight. Now I would like to start our inductee ceremony by asking and introducing Dr. Rachel Menares, Superintendent of the Worcester Public Schools. Tom Murray, the Worcester Educational Development Foundation Vice President and the Athletic Hall of Fame Committee Chair. And I'd like to welcome once again Tony Economou and David Shea to the stage. Last but not least, I'd like to introduce tonight's MC, Kevin Shea from Spectrum News 1, who has generously offered his time over the years to MC this event. We welcome him back and thank him once again for being here tonight.
All right, the mic's not removable, so when the honorees come up, we'll have you just kind of stand close here so everyone can hear what you have to say. We know the Bruins are playing tonight. We know people want to get out and see the game. If you're new to this event, this is the format that we do. I'm going to talk a little bit about each honoree individually. They'll come up, and then I'll ask them a couple questions. And in order for the night to be successful, every table has to give the same respect and the same courtesy that you would want your loved one to get when they're up here being honored. If tables start talking because your loved one's already gone or they're not going for another 2 or 3, then it ruins the whole night for everyone. So all that I would ask is give everyone in here the respect they deserve and just be quiet while they're up here and they're talking and sharing some great memories of their times playing sports in the city of Worcester, the great city of Worcester. And we'll begin with our first honoree. Our first honoree was a 1936 graduate of North High School. He was a 6-time letterman in indoor and outdoor track. He was an individual state champion in the high jump for both indoor and outdoor track in 1936 and the long jump for outdoor track. In 1935, Andrew Hunter was the state champion for the high jump and indoor track. A 4-time state champion led his North High School team to the outdoor track Team Inter-High Championship in Worcester County Crowns in 1936. He went on to Dartmouth College, where he earned 6 letters competing in indoor and outdoor track. After graduating from Dartmouth, he served in the U.S. Army, working in the Army Intelligence from 1941 to 1945. After his military career, he married Frances Rainwater and settled locally where they raised 5 children, and Andy became an executive at a local greeting card company. He passed away in 2006 at the age of 87, but we're fortunate to have one of his sons here, Rob Hunter, tonight to come up and receive the award on his dad's behalf. Rob, come on up. First, let's talk about, you and I talked a little bit about this, but your dad has a record that still stands today, and it's the standing broad jump.
Yeah. So back in the 30s, and I'm not quite sure when the event was discontinued, but he set an indoor record in the standing broad jump of 10 feet, 2 3/4 inches. And I'm not sure when they stopped having it, but he has the distinction of having a record that can't get broken.
It will never be broken, right? And he went on to Dartmouth, and he had tremendous success at Dartmouth, and his long jump record was 24 feet, where Jesse Owens was like 26 feet, 8 inches, so he wasn't that far off from one of the greatest athletes in the world.
Yeah, it was, 24 feet, which You know, he ended up 22 feet in high school, so he ended up adding a couple of feet when he competed in college.
And so the bottom line is, if you misbehaved in the house, you weren't going to outrun him.
No, I was not.
He was going to catch you before you got down the hall. Thanks so much.
Okay.
We appreciate it, Rob.
Kevin, thank you.
Thank you very much. On behalf of Andrew Hunter, Rob Hunter. Our next honoree, John Kramer, was a 1988 graduate of South High School, a six-time letterman in football and tennis. In 1987, John led the Colonels to the Central Mass Super Bowl. He capped off his 4 years helping South become a resurgent football program and one of the top programs in the city. He led the team in tackles both his junior and senior year, and he made a remarkable 26 tackles in South's 9-8 victory over Doherty in 1986. He captained the football and the tennis teams his senior year. Then he received more than 10 Division I football scholarship offers before eventually choosing UMass. He became a 4-year starter on the gridiron for the Minutemen. They were the 2-time Yankee Conference championships, and he was voted a team captain his senior year by his teammates. After he graduated, John continued the Kramer family tradition and embarked on a career in education. He's currently the vice principal at Doherty High School, and now he joins his dad, Gerald, and his brothers, Jeff and Jerry, his grandfather, John Baldwin Sr., and his uncle, John Baldwin Jr., all members of the Worcester Public Schools Hall of Fame. John Kramer, come on down. All right, thank you. First, you had a great and a unique experience. You got to play for your dad, and you got to play with your brothers. What was that like?
It was everything to me, and I look back with the fondest memories of having my father, who's here right now, and my brother, and my other brother would have loved to have been here also. So it was some of the best memories of my life.
Your memories of the inter-high games and just the intensity of those inter-high games, because you guys played Doherty twice a year back then, regular season and Thanksgiving, which was the regular season too.
Yes, I have so many friends here, that I played against, and people that I work with that, are Doherty High, but Doherty was the team to beat. And they were a tough nut to crack too. Played against guys like Steve Hathaway here, and all Coach Sean Mulcahy was, involved with that era too. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun. It really was. It was a lot of good football, I think.
One of your teammates, John Stolberg, is going to be inducted here tonight. Now, he couldn't make it up. He hurt his back, so he's down in North Carolina. But tell your memories of John as a player and a person.
John was a, very, very special player. He was big, fast, strong. We kind of, grew together as football players. We worked out all the time, and he's still, to this day, one of my best friends, and I love him dearly.
And that's the part which was so great about this Inter-High Hall of Fame, and just what we're celebrating here is the great friendships that are made on the tennis court, on the football field, the baseball diamond, all these great friendships and these family connections here with the Worcester Inter-High Hall of Fame.
Worcester is, our home and our love, and all these wonderful athletes and people here, and I'm very, very proud to be part of the Worcester Public Schools and this legacy of athletes and everything.
Now a Hall of Famer. Sign your name, HOF.
Thank you.
John Kramer. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Our next honoree is a 2014 graduate of Doherty High School, where she starred in softball, field hockey, and basketball. She was the Inter-High MVP for softball in her sophomore, junior, and senior seasons. Delaney Sylvester was also named to the T&G Super Team after her senior season. She lettered in field hockey for 3 years and basketball for 2. Her Highlander basketball teams earned the Inter-High crowns in 2013 and 2014. Delaney holds the Doherty softball records for most hits in a career with 129, and remarkably only struck out 4 times over a 4-year varsity career, which is absolutely incredible. She went on to Suffolk University, to where she continued her athletic dominance as she earned all conference honors in all 4 seasons at Suffolk. first time that's ever been accomplished in the history of Suffolk softball. She was the Player of the Year for the GNAC her senior year, and she struck out only twice in 122 plate appearances. She finished her career as the school's all-time leader in hits, second in home runs, RBI, and total bases. Please welcome and congratulate Delaney Sylvester. All right. First, let's talk about how you only struck out 4 times your entire career. How difficult, what is the secret to that? Because that seems almost incredible to think a 4-year varsity player only had 4 strikeouts. How'd you do it?
I just studied my swing for so long, and I knew what I had to do, put bat on the ball, and just make sure I don't let the umpire make the decision for me, and make sure I get a pitch that I want.
And how about playing 3 sports? Because you just went from sport to sport to sport. How difficult was it? And also, I guess, how much fun was it to not have to do one thing constantly?
Like my whole life, I played basketball, so I knew I wanted to keep doing it in high school. And then I just like to compete, so I picked up field hockey because I thought it'd be good to keep me in shape for basketball and then for softball too. So I just kept going every season.
And your senior season was a special season in softball because you got to play with your sister. Mm-hmm. Your sister was your catcher. You were the pitcher.
Other way.
What? Oh, that's right. What was that like?
I mean, she's my best friend, so anytime we got to play any sport together, whether it was basketball, because we played varsity basketball together too, and then we played in Suffolk, anytime we got to be together, it just made everything easier, and it was just so much fun.
Just good family memories,
yeah.
and your best friend as
Yep.
well. Congratulations,
Yes.
Delaney. Delaney Sylvester. Our next honoree is a 2014 graduate of Burncoat High School. She lettered for the Patriots in field hockey, softball, and indoor track in each of her 4 seasons. Jackie Mom's the all-time leading field hockey scorer for Burncoat history. She had 109 total points in her high school career. She was the inter-high field hockey MVP and a member of the super team in 2013. Jackie was second in scoring in Central Massachusetts in her senior year and voted best of 60 top high school field hockey players in the state. In her final season with the Patriots, her team advanced to the Central Mass District semifinals. Jackie was also a standout softball player for Burncoat, earning inter-high all-star honors her sophomore, junior, and senior seasons. She was a stellar center fielder and finished her senior year with the 3rd highest batting average in the inter-high. An outstanding student who graduated 7th in her class at Burncoat High School, Jackie furthered her education at URI, where she played club field hockey. Please welcome and congratulate Jackie Mom. Congratulations. First question, what was it like, and she's here tonight, what was it like to play for Meg Curtin Brunel?
Playing for Curtin was great. I mean, she definitely made us a better team. I don't think without her, we probably wouldn't have been as good as we were. If we lost or if we did something we weren't supposed to, you knew you were in trouble the next day. But she was great. She was awesome, and I'm so thankful I played for her. So.
How intense were the inter-high games? How do you remember? Because I know your coach was intense, but how do you remember the memories of the intensity?
They were intense. I mean, you always want to win, the inter-high. So you always go in there with a little bit more, competitiveness than some other games at times. But, yeah, you always want to win those games. So it was competitive.
And playing 3 sports, too, how difficult is it to just go sport to sport to sport and not have, 6 months that you're playing indoors or warming up, getting ready for that sport? It's just one sport ends and you turn the page and go to the next one.
Yeah, I mean, I think, for me, I loved playing sports. I was competitive. It was something to look forward to, and, I met a lot of friends doing it and had a lot of friends doing it, so it was like more something to look forward to than something that was a burden. It was fun and gave me some structure,
Yeah.
So I
Well,
loved
that's
it.
great. And that's the name of it, too, is having fun and making all those friendships. Jackie, congratulations.
Thank you.
Jackie Mom. Our next honoree is a 1997 graduate of Doherty High School, where he lettered in football and basketball his junior and senior seasons. He was a standout two-way football player, joining the Highlanders his junior year after his family relocated to Worcester from Georgia. In his first season at Doherty, he rushed for 1,176 yards and recorded 112 tackles on defense. During his senior year, he gained 1,280 rushing yards and had 123 tackles. He also starred on the hardwood, and his Highlanders basketball team won the Inter-High Crowns in the 1995-96 season and the 96-97 season. Darren Brown was a football T&G All-Star in 1995 and 1996 and was voted a member of the T&G Super Team in 1996. He was a Central Mass Division I football All-Star his junior and senior years, and he was chosen to play in the Mawinnie Shrine game as a senior. He was also named All-State as a senior. He went on to Merrimack College, where he lettered in football for the Warriors. Please congratulate and welcome Darren Brown. All right, first, how difficult was it moving from Georgia to Worcester your junior year, right before your junior year of high school, and how much did playing football help, because maybe get you some new friends and get acclimated to the school right away?
Well, it was a big difference, and from the South and up here, everything up here was a lot faster than in the South. There, they say we slow down there. So, but as far as playing ball, playing football. It made it easy to make friends, because once I stepped on the field and they seen me play, they was like, okay, he can play with us.
Yeah, he's our guy. We're going to give him the ball. He's our guy. You probably had a lot of best friends after the first scrimmage.
Well, I did. I had some friends. I had some enemies too, because everybody wanted a position, right. And it's a competitive sport.
Right.
So everybody's competing for a spot. But where I'm from down south, the best player plays.
Right. And now, your junior year, you beat Leominster. First time Doherty had beaten Leominster in a long time. Tell us about walking home and what happened and how big that game was, because you didn't realize how big it was, I think, for Doherty at the time.
No, to me it was just another game that we needed to go out and win. And I was walking home, walking up Pleasant Street, and then a cop stopped me. And the first thing I thought, I'm like, man, I'm in trouble. But he stopped me. He was like, listen, what's your name? I told him. He was like, you're Darren Brown. I said, yes, sir. And he said, did you guys win? I said, yeah. He said, who'd you play? I said, it was beat Leominster. He's like, you did? He's like, congratulations, good game. I'm like, okay.
I'm free to go. That's good. Now, for basketball, Burncoat was your big rival. Your junior year, you beat him in the districts. The senior year, they got you in the districts. Talk about that rivalry and what it was like.
Listen, Burncoat was always tough. They had Mike Bradley.
Yeah.
Listen, they had Mike. That team was stacked. But listen, the game, it came down to the wire. And listen, I thought I was good. I got a ball. I got a pass from like Eddie Brown around the 3. Got ready to go up. Listen, Mike Bradley came out of nowhere, blocked my shot. Game over. People don't realize how good he really was, being a 6'11" ball player.
Right, and how he could move, how his feet, he could move and anticipate.
He was very swift on the floor.
Well, you had a phenomenal career. Congratulations so much. Darren Brown, thank you. Darren Brown. Our next honoree is a 6-year NFL veteran, a defensive back for the San Francisco 49ers. He's a 2014 graduate of Doherty High School, where he earned 12 letters in football, indoor track, and outdoor track. And he graduated, too, in December. He could have actually earned more letters. On the gridiron for the Highlanders, Isaac Yadam was a 3-time Inter-High All-Star, earning MVP honors his senior year. He was a 2-time Central Mass All-Star and T&G Super Team member. He was named to the T&G Fall 2013 Player of the Year, an honor given to the best Central Mass athlete among all the fall sports. A football captain in his senior year, he led Doherty to the Division IV state championship with a thrilling win over DY at Gillette Stadium. He finished his Highlander career with more than 2,500 receiving yards, more than 800 rushing yards, 27 touchdowns, over 300 tackles, and 11 interceptions. Isaac holds school records in track in the 400-meter, 600-meter, triple jump, 4x200 indoor, and the 4x400 outdoor. He was the Central Mass Division I champion in the 400 meters and the 400 meter relay in 2013. He was named a T&G All-Star in track in 2013. He went on to Boston College, where he was a 4-year starter for the Eagles, earning first-team All-ACC honors his senior season. He was recognized with the J. McGillis Award, an honor given to a BC defensive back who leads by example, has an extraordinary competitive spirit, and shows personal concern for family, friends, and teammates. He was drafted in the 3rd round in 2018 by the Denver Broncos. In his 6-year career, he's played for the Broncos, Giants, Packers, Texans, and now the 49ers. Please welcome and congratulate Isaac Yadam. All right. First, let's talk about your memories of that Super Bowl season and winning that Super Bowl. It had been so long since Doherty had even been to a Super Bowl, and you guys brought that title back.
Yeah, that was great. I mean, till this day, that's my only championship I ever won. So I still look back at it, you know, and I remember that feeling when we were standing at the top of Gillette. Even last year when I was on the Saints, I got a chance to play my first NFL game at Gillette, and I just remember winning the Super Bowl there. And I just remember Luke throwing me a touchdown in the end zone at the end of the half. But that game, that season was just so special. Like, we were a brotherhood. That team, we were all so competitive. We lived together. We slept together. We woke up together. We ate together as a team every single day of the summer. And we just kept the same thing rolling throughout the season. And we just had so much fun playing football, and it led it to a championship.
Yeah, it was incredible, absolutely incredible. Now to the NFL. Who's the toughest wide receiver that you've ever had to cover?
For sure, Devontae Adams. I played with him on the Packers, and that was not fun. And it still don't make sense. Sometimes I'll think, like, how does God make a receiver so perfect? But that's Devontae Adams.
Right, he's the guy. What was your welcome to the NFL moment, maybe your rookie season with the Broncos?
Yep. I think it was for sure my first game. We played Seattle in Denver, and just running out that tunnel, like, it was different from college. Like, we played, you know, at Clemson in college, Boston College, a bunch of big stadiums, FSU, but the NFL was different. When you ran out that stadium, when I was in Denver, there's a big horse that comes out with you, and it was just crazy. Like, the fans are going crazy, and Seattle's there, and I see Russell Wilson there, and all these players that I grew up watching as a kid. Right. It was just like, it finally hit me, like, what the are you doing here? But there I was, and till this day, it's a blessing.
That's awesome. And what is it? Is there a difference when you're playing on Monday Night Football or Sunday Night Football? Guys will talk. Maybe it's different than a regular Sunday afternoon game. Does it feel different?
Yeah, for sure. It feels different because especially like playing corner, like, you know, everybody's watching. So if you let something happen, you know, Smalls or Luke gonna send you a text when you get to the locker room at half. So, but that's the best thing about football, when you get a chance to play in those primetime games. You know what I mean? You set an example for, like, so many kids in Worcester. I know my little brother. So many kids that at Boston College I still talk to. They're all watching you. You know, you get a chance to lead by example and show them how it's done.
Which is awesome, and you do that for so many kids in the city, in Central Mass. There's so much a sense of pride that you come from this city and this area, Central Mass. How many times when you're going to be on a primetime game and they do those introductions and the guys can say what college you're from or high school, how many texts do you get from Sean Mulcahy saying, you better mention Doherty, it better be from Doherty High School tonight?
Oh, yeah, this year for sure. I think we got 6 primetime games,
Ooh. So
I'll for sure say Isaac Yadam, Doherty High School.
I love it. Isaac,
Sure.
Thanks so much. This is awesome. Thank you. That was awesome. Thanks. Isaac Yadam, everyone. You can say Inner High Hall of Famer, too, when you get introduced. Doherty High School Hall of Fame. All right, our next group is the 1996-97 Burncoat boys basketball team. Now they finished, we're going to get the whole team. The whole team's going to come up after I introduce you. They finished as the Division I state finalists with a 22-2 record. They were coached by Jim Diamantopoulos. The talented squad they recorded 3-game sweeps during the season over arch rivals St. John's and Doherty. Led by future NBA player Mike Bradley, the Patriots survived a bruising Central Mass District tournament, notching big wins against the Pioneers to set up an all-city district final against Doherty. The Patriots outlasted Doherty in a thrilling contest before an overflow crowd at WPI's Harrington Gym to win the Division I Central Mass crown. Then they went to the state semis. They beat Springfield Cathedral at the Hogan Center at UMass, and then they went to the state championship, and they lost a close one to Taunton in the state championship. The 96-97 team will go down in history as one of the best in this city's history. Please welcome and recognize the 1996-97 Burncoat boys basketball team. Come on up. All right. All right. Good, good. Congrats. 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 Nice. How you doing? Hey, Joel. Congrats. Hey, Jay. Congrats. All right. All right, Coach D. Come on up. You're going to talk for the group here.
Okay, thank you.
First, your memories of that season and that magical run to the state championship. What was it like?
How long do you have?
That's good. We got the Bruins game started.
All right, okay, I don't like hockey. But before I get too far going here, I just want to congratulate the North High boys team for finishing the business that we couldn't finish.
Well done.
Well, we're very proud of those guys, and Coach Petway. And before I get too far down, there's a young gentleman back there, Dr. Hines. Dr. Hines, will you please stand? These guys all know what he meant to us as a leader. I love you, Bill. When I was at Burncoat for those years, that gentleman when I came in, he didn't know me. He says, you know what? We're here, we're going to help you win, but we're going to do it right. And boy, did he. All right, he opened the gym, he did things like that. He went to Myrtle Beach with us. I didn't have enough money to run a summer league, and we named him Doc Pats. So that kind of support and these kind of talent, how can any coach lose? Because this is not something you can do by yourself. There's no way you can do this by yourself. It takes a community. North High proved that this last 2 years. But the memories, yeah, they were fantastic. We had a great player, Mike Bradley. He's one of the top 40 in the country. We had people calling my house all the time. I had Dan Darkajoe for dinner, who was Bobby Knight's big guy. I had Leonard Hamilton down at Florida at my house for dinner. We embraced the whole thing. It was wonderful. But these guys bought into the system of playing with a superstar and not feeling bad about their own playing time. And let me tell you something. I may have been the coach, and Coach James is here. Coach James, where are you? Over here. One of the best. And God rest his soul, Akeem Agandi was the other assistant. He's passed, but he was one of the best guys. He went for the job. I got it over him. We sat at Foley Stadium for 2 hours one time, and we talked about how we're going to do this together, and he bought in. You cannot do it by yourself. You cannot do it by yourself. So that's a start to some things.
Good. Now, what about the intensity of or maybe let's bring up a player. How about Joel, or who was Benji? Someone come up.
Joel Lopez.
Come up.
Joel Lopez.
Joel Lopez.
One second. Before, Rick Pitino.
Why we don't have this format.
No, but you had one person, all great entry. We have a whole team. Rick Pitino's at the game with his entourage from Kentucky at St. John's. Mike Bradley had one point shot at St. John's. We're down 8 with 1:55 left. I said, Lopez, mind, this is the time to do it. People left the gym thinking we got beat. He goes in, he scores 8 points, boom, boom, boom. Actually, Fred King's brother, I think, missed a call on the basketball court. And he missed the back court because Lopez was flying around, and we ended up beating him at the last second, 2.6 seconds, when Bradley put off the glass. This is the guy.
He wants to turn this into a Festivus, the airing of the grievances. This is not a Festivus. It's not the airing of the grievances with a referee making a bad call. Joel.
It helped us.
Okay, it helped you. Joel, talk about what the Green Graveyard was like, the pit, as they called it, and the intensity, and it was so packed.
It was amazing. The energy every night, every game. We used to send people home. Hundreds of people were at the door waiting to get in, watch us play. We used to send them home, but the energy was great. Atmosphere was very good.
And what are your fondest memories of these guys and just being around them?
The friendships that we built along the way, the memories we always have for life, and the great competition we played in Holy Name, Diego, and of high, a lot of good competition out there. So it was great.
Congratulations. The Burncoat basketball team, congratulate them.
One last thing, okay, he's not getting paid. Doug Cooney, the best assistant player, he kept it all together. He gave Bradley a ride to and from practice every day and kept these guys on the straight and narrow.
Well, Doug Cooney was the Rick Mahorn for you.
That's right.
He was your Ricky Mahorn. He was the muscle. Doug Cooney was the muscle. We're out of time. Sorry, that's going to do it. Our next honoree is a 1967 graduate of Burncoat High School. Michael Flynn coached football, basketball, and baseball for the Abbott Street School from 1972 to 1982. He also worked as an elementary physical education teacher for the Worcester Public Schools. In '79, Coach Flynn led Abbott Street School to city championships in football, basketball, and baseball. During his service to the Worcester Public Schools, he not only achieved great success on the fields of play, but more importantly, he instilled in hundreds of young people the values of hard work, dedication, and respect for others. Many of his former players and students went on to enjoy great athletic and professional success, due in no small part to the life lessons they learned and imparted upon them by Mr. Flynn. He was a standout all-city baseball and football star in Burncoat during his playing days. He also coached and had a very successful coaching career at Grafton High School, coaching soccer. Please welcome and congratulate Michael Flynn. Now, you played on the first Burncoat football team. What were the memories? What was it like?
So it's the first team ever at Burncoat High School. I'm the quarterback, and we're in a team bus heading out to play St. Peter's. At the time, St. Peter's and St. John's were the big dogs in the area. So my parents are behind me following the bus, see their son play, and as we get close to the field, we can hear the St. Peter's team warming up. Kill Flynn, kill Flynn, kill Flynn. And they damn near did. I think on the ride home on the bus, I was curled in a fetal position, and whimpering may have been involved. That's my memory.
How about your memory of teaching in the elementary schools and maybe a welcome to teaching moment?
My first week of teaching, my introduction to teaching. I had just come out of UMass. I'm 22 years old, elementary school phys ed. It's all good. Just one day, I've got a first grade class outside, and we're practicing kicking a rolling ball. It sounds simple, but not for 6-year-old kids. So I rolled the ball to this one little dude, and he kicks an absolute rocket. And I'm 6 feet away from him, and it hits me squarely in the groin. My first thought was, this was not covered in college. Second thought, first grade, I doubt anyone even noticed. Well, just then, I feel a tug on my shirt, and I look down, 6-year-old Alex is looking up at me. He says, Mr. Flynn, that got you right in the nuts, didn't it?
Outstanding. You knew you were in a good profession then, and you also knew to wear a cup. Now, you coached at elementary school, and you coached three different sports at elementary school. At Grafton, you coached high school soccer. What did you prefer, and what were the differences between the two?
Well, I coached 20 years at Grafton and 10 years elementary school in Worcester. To this day, I think 11 and 12-year-olds are the best kids to coach. They've got the skills, they want to be coached, and unlike high school, they're not worried about boyfriends, girlfriends, going to the prom, getting their driver's license. From 3 to 5 o'clock in the afternoon, after 6 hours in the classroom, they're in heaven. That's the center of their universe. And whether I was pitching batting practice or driving up plays for Mr. Hathaway over here, it was so much fun. I would have done it for free. It was wonderful. And you see an 11-year-old kid maybe hitting his first double or scoring a first touchdown. It's just joy. I taught for 35 years and coached for 30. I don't think I ever had a bad day. So it was my pleasure, believe me.
That's awesome. Mike Flynn. Congratulations, Mike Flynn. Our next honoree couldn't be here, but he's going to have a former teammate and a friend accept on his behalf. John Stolberg is a 1988 graduate of South High School. He was a 4-year letter winner in football. He was team captain his junior and senior seasons at South, and he was another one of those leaders in the resurgence of South High football in the 1980s. He was an inter-high all-star in 1986 and 87, and a T&G all-star in his senior season. John's Colonels' 1987 team reached the pinnacle of high school football success in Massachusetts by winning the Central Mass Super Bowl. His success on the gridiron caught the attention of many Division I colleges who offered scholarships. He decided to accept a scholarship to Boston College, where he became a 4-year starter for the Eagles. He's in North Carolina now. He threw out his back, not going to be able to be here, but before we bring up the person who's going to accept on his behalf, Jeff Oliver, who's the strength and conditioning coach up here at Holy Cross, he also played football at Boston College, and I texted him and just said, did you overlap with John Stolberg, and if so, do you have any memories of him? And he wrote back this. He said, he and I did not overlap at BC. I think I missed him by a year, but I admired him, the way he carried himself, and his toughness. He was classic Boston College, and what I think they're currently missing. Just a tough son of a bitch who loves to play football. He was old school. That was John Stolberg. Now, accepting on John's behalf, his friend and his teammate, Jeff Kramer. All right. How you doing? First, just your memories of John as a player and as a friend.
John Stolberg teamed with my brother John and really showed us younger guys the way, they got involved with lifting weights and really dedicated themselves to football. And, South had been down for a little bit. And when you talk resurgence, those two were the leaders. They really were. And, lifelong friends. He's my brother John's best friend and true gentleman. And he went on to have an outstanding career at Boston College. Started 4 years. Watching him play Tennessee and Notre Dame, and it was a real honor for us South High guys to have our guy,
sure.
doing that stuff.
Just a huge sense of pride, right?
Unbelievable sense of pride, and just a kid who grew up behind McDonald's in Maine South, who went on to do amazing things from BC. Had a successful business career, and unfortunately. I think all those football games and lifting weights has taken a toll, and he threw his back out. And but I know, he called me and said he's very disappointed he couldn't be here. It's an honor, a true honor, for him to be inducted into the Worcester Public Schools Hall of Fame.
Well, that's awesome. On behalf of John, then, congratulations.
Thank
John
you.
Stolberg, Jeff Kramer. Our next honoree is a 1989 graduate of South High, where he was a standout basketball and baseball player. Scott Fenner was a baseball captain for the Colonels his junior and senior year, starring as a pitcher and a shortstop. In his senior year, Fenner had a record on the mound of 8-1 with a .064 ERA. The same season, Scott recorded a no-hitter with 10 strikeouts and 2 one-hitters. He was also a great hitter, batting .443 in his senior year. He was a 3-year starter for South. His teams finished with records of 18-2, 10-9, and 16-4. In 1989, the South baseball team earned the inter-high crown and the Central Mass District 1 championship. Scott also excelled on the hardwood as a member of the South basketball team. In his junior year, they finished 17-3, and they won the inter-high crown. The same year, South also won the inter-high holiday tournament. Scott was named the inter-high tournament's MVP. He averaged 15 points a game in the 87-88 season. In his senior year, he averaged 19 points a game. And he had a phenomenal game against St. Peter Marion, where he scored 43 points, had 15 assists, and he had 11 steals. Scott went on to further his education at Worcester State, where he lettered in baseball and basketball. Please congratulate and welcome Scott Fenner. All right. All right, now, 1989 district finals in basketball. You guys are playing Holy Name. What are your memories of that game?
That's a good one. Well, first we beat Burncoat in the semifinals. Very talented team, young team. We sneaked out a 2-point win, so we faced Holy Name in the finals. And we had lost top player mid-season, discipline reasons. He was a tall center and one of the best players around. So we had a backup center take over for him, and he dominated the Holy Name center. I can't remember his name.
I
Jeff,
believe.
do you remember who that was, Jeff?
His name is Dave Shea.
Dave Shea. No, Dave had a good game, though. But it was a great season. Coach Kramer kept us together. You know, when losing a player like we did, a lot of people kind of, wrote us off, and he kept us together. We worked hard, and we probably beat two teams that were more talented than us, but we were able to come out with the victories.
And you played in a lot of big games, a lot of pressure situations, a lot of nerve-wracking situations. Your two sons play for Burncoat. They're great athletes. They're playing baseball right now for Benji Barrero. How nerve-wracking is it as a parent versus when you played? I'm sure it's a lot more nerve-wracking as a parent watching them than it is when you played.
It is. Actually, I was more nervous playing shortstop than I was pitching, for whatever reason. But watching them play, like they just had a game the other day where my youngest son, Cameron, who's a freshman, was pitching. It was a close game, and I'm standing there with my wife and my parents, and every ball that's hit, you're nervous, catch it, and he came up with a good pitching performance, and he had a big hit in the bottom of the sixth inning to take the lead, and they ended up winning the game. But I know how my parents felt watching myself and my brother playing sports and stuff, and I get it now. But it is nerve-wracking.
Oh, I can believe it. I can believe it. Now, going back to your high school baseball days and your senior season, you guys, right before the season was when Jerome Johnson was killed. And he was a teammate of yours in the basketball, but not baseball, but still a teammate and a friend. What did that do for you guys as a team? Because it's so hard to go through that as 17, 18-year-old kids.
Yes, it was a jolt to everybody in the school. None of us had seen that before, something like that happen. And it was probably a week or so before baseball season, and Coach McDermott, kept us together. We had a lot of tough kids on the baseball team. Jeff Kramer, Bob LaRose, the Sean Degnans. We just stuck together. The school rallied together, and we were able to have a successful season as well.
And it speaks volumes too, and you've mentioned, other people have mentioned it here, just the impact that coaches can have on young people, 16, 17-year-old kids, and you were fortunate enough to have a couple great coaches. Scott Fenner, thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Coach.
Scott Fenner. Our next honoree is a 2015 graduate of Burncoat High School, where she earned 12 varsity letters in cross-country, indoor and outdoor track, and soccer. Lauren Fitzgerald is the school record holder in indoor track for the mile and the 4x800 relay. None of these records has ever been matched by an inter-high athlete since she graduated. She was a state qualifier in the mile in 2013, in the 1,000 meter in 2014, and the 2 mile in 2015. Lauren was also the inter-high champion in the mile her sophomore, junior, and senior seasons. In outdoor track, she's the school record holder in the mile, 2-mile, and 4x800 relay. All 3 times have yet to be matched by an inter-high track athlete since. She continued her successful track career at Westfield State University, where she lettered in indoor and outdoor track and cross country. Her teams won 3 MASCAC championships in cross country, indoor track, and outdoor track. She also competed and qualified as a Division III qualifier in the All New England competition in the 10K her sophomore year, and was a regional qualifier in the 4x800 as a senior. She was also a member of Westfield's all-academic team. Please welcome and congratulate Lauren Fitzgerald. Congratulations. We've talked a lot, and a lot of people have talked about coaches and the impact they've had on them. You had a tremendous coach at Burncoat in track and indoor and outdoor track. Talk about what he meant to you and the impact he had on you as a student athlete.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be here today or be the runner I am today if it wasn't for John Nickel. He's sitting at table 5 in the suit tie. But but because of him and he really pushed me to be the runner I am today, and really helped me continue in college as well, because I wouldn't have thought I'd be a runner. I thought I'd still be playing soccer, honestly.
How much more difficult is college versus high school in terms of the competition for track?
Well, in high school, you knew who your competitors were every single week. Like, I knew who to look for, who was going to be there. College, there was someone different every time, and I didn't know who I would see. So it kind of kept me more on my toes in college.
And now, would you get more nervous before a track meet or before a soccer game?
More for a track meet. Soccer, I had a team backing me up. When in track, it was just me, and I was just really competitive with myself, and I wanted to beat myself every single time. So, yeah, I just had more pressure.
Right, and it's a
track.
lot more pressure because it's
Yeah.
the individual spotlight is right on you. Talk lastly just about how track is an individual sport, but it's also a team sport. You have,
Yeah.
like you said, you want to beat yourself and you want to beat your time, and you want to be first, but you also, it's a team thing too.
Yeah. So, like, if I do well, then I'm also helping my team, because in the end, we all are putting points together to win a championship. So, if I know I have to do well, so my team can do well. And especially with relays, we're all working together to the end goal of winning.
Right, which is great. Thanks so much, Lauren. Congratulations. Lauren Fitzgerald. Our final award for the night is the Contributor to the Worcester Public Schools Athletics Award. Lee Mancini and Angela Ruffo and the entire UMass Sports Medicine Group have been a valuable asset to the Worcester Public Schools over the past few years. They've provided medical coverage for the athletic teams throughout the 3 seasons, but especially in football and wrestling. They've helped Dave Shea and everyone, all the coaches, all the athletes, obtain the medical coverage for the MIA playoff games, regular season games. The staff they have is amazing, and having trained medical staff at the games helps the student athletes to quickly diagnose if their injury is something they can get back in the game with, or if it's something that requires more medical attention, and if they're going to have to leave. And having those professionals makes a world of difference, and for the players, but also for the parents in the stands, knowing that there are medical professionals on the sideline to care for their son and daughter should something happen, is a huge sigh of relief, I'm sure, for every parent that walks into, whether it's Foley Stadium, Beaverbrook, wherever it is that those teams are playing. It is now my honor to introduce and to thank Lee Mancini and Angela Ruffo on the entire UMass Sports Medicine Group. Come on up. Congratulations. Okay. Jim Diamantopoulos took all the time, so we will not do interviews.
Which is funny because my father coached him at Springfield College when he played football.
No. Thank God we didn't get into those stories.
Yeah, that's right. My dad said he talked more then than he does now.
Ripley's Believe It or Not. Thank you so much. On behalf of the Worcester Public Schools, on behalf of Dr. Menares and the entire committee here, I want to thank everyone and congratulate all of our award winners. If we could get all of the Hall of Famers to stand up one time and just be recognized by everyone. Stand up, all the Hall of Famers. Oh yeah, you got the 50-50. Okay. Well done. Congratulations to everyone here. And again, special thanks to everyone who's nominated someone. And if your person you nominated didn't get in this year, continue to nominate people because it's great to be able to put a spotlight on so many great alums from the Worcester Public Schools in the Inner High.